What is your American dream?
So my American dream, 1, is to move somewhere where there's no winter, and 2, to do all the things I'm passionate about full time.
Just basically to live out my life the way that I choose, coming here to convention centers like this and finding someone to actually share the enjoyment that I do.
The American dream would be living your life without having to second guess your opinions. Don't sell yourself short of the experience.
My American dream is my own personal freedom and creativity to do what I want, but also others around me. As long as it's safe and fun and everybody's on the same playing field, I don't feel like there should be any limitations. I think you should be able to enjoy your one life that you're given and be grateful and to give back to others as well.
My American dream is just to be happy and to not let anyone get in my way of doing that.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Okay, so first, pretzels. Very good, very good. Okay, all the pretzels are in. Ha 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 ha. Pine cone. Pine is very important. Lovely. And now I just stir it all up. Very nice, very nice. Coming along very well. Oh, hello everybody. I didn't see you there. I'm working on my own little project right now. If you guys saw Tuesday's episode of Brad Show Live, you saw that Brad, Kim, and Yo-Yo all have candles that smell like them. Brad's candle smells like Hermes and Yacket. Kim's candle smells like vanilla and spice. That sounds delicious. I gotta tell you, if that was a latte, I would totally drink it. And Jonathan's candle smells like Versace arrows and a touch of culture. Well, well, Mr. Jonathan, we all know how cultured you are. Oh, Jonathan. So anyway, I was wondering why no one asked if I would like to have a candle made. A lot of people in the comments were asking how I would smell. Well, I'll tell ya, groundhogs are just like humans. We're all a little different and we all have our own scents. But mine is pretzels and pine, and so I'm in the midst of making my own candle because I think the Brad Squad would enjoy having the O of Groundhog Sam in their home environment. Yes, I do. Okay, I'm almost to the microwave. Okay, here we go. Ha 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 ha. 20 minutes, hit start. Now we wait. It's ready! Oh my goodness! It looks perfect. Ooh, it smells just like me. There you have it, everybody. Groundhog Sam candle. Smells like pretzels and pine. Who wouldn't want their home to smell like that? And it's for everybody. Not too masculine, not too feminine. It's just right. Anyway, did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, our Miami field correspondent, Anna Azcona, discussed an undocumented woman from Guatemala named Victorina Morales, who bravely came out in the press saying she has worked at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey for the last 5 years. She says it wasn't just her, but at least a dozen other workers, and that the supervisors helped her falsify her work papers. That's interesting now, isn't it? Anyway, now's the time you've all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring Brad, Bernstein, and co-host Belgium Kim Moore and Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy the show. I'm gonna go light this candle in the media room. They're gonna love it.
Hello, everybody. January 24th, 2019, a day that will live in infamy. Belgium Kim and Jonathan Yo-Yo Ellis. A day I will never, ever forget. At least until tomorrow. Then tomorrow I may forget today. But right now I won't forget today.
You're so poetic, Brad.
I will not forget today.
Yeah. Little slam poetry.
What does that mean?
Little slam poetry.
The slam poetry. Whenever you go to like a poetry slam,
yes,
and you don't clap the poetry. Everybody goes. Because you're like,
I never saw.
Really? We gotta take you to a poetry jam.
Yeah, you gotta.
Two roads diverge into one. Belgium Kim.
Ooh, can we lower the lights?
Lower the lights, please. Lower the lights.
Where are those Brad scented candles?
That's right.
Now it's gonna be a
I looked out my window at 2 a.m.
Ooh.
I looked out my window at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I looked past the cold of the night, and I saw a seed on the ground. That seed will turn to a flower.
Ooh.
Perhaps in the spring. And these flowers that I will provide you, Belgium Kim, will remind me of the love in that seed that will
Hey, everybody's probably like, what
into
the
the
hell
spring.
is going on? Turn on the lights.
That's my best poetry off the top of my head.
It was
That
really
was good.
not bad.
Was that
I
good?
liked it.
I got a gift out of it.
Got
Was
some
that
chills.
good?
Yeah.
I got goosebumps.
That was unscripted poetry.
I got goosebumps.
Unscripted poetry. Belgium Kim, Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, how are you?
We're good.
You're
I'm
good.
good. Yeah.
Good. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I thought
Wait,
I
do you
can't
know how
do
to
it.
snap?
I don't know how to snap.
Wait, first of all, you're doing it with the wrong fingers. Do it with these.
No, he's
He was
right.
doing it with this.
No, I wasn't. I can't
Yeah,
even do it like
yeah.
that.
Let me see. Oh,
All right, I just can't do it.
harder.
Brad, we're gonna have. We'll talk.
Ba-da-da-da. 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 Da-da-da-da. I
Yeah,
can't do
nothing.
it.
God.
All right, what's going
No
on?
sound.
Why do you guys look like you're matching again?
We're really not, though.
We're
At
doing
all.
Even Levante Tucker says, looking suave, guys.
Well, yeah, because we look suave.
Maybe it's you. Look at you got your
I'm not
chest
suave.
out.
That's true. Yeah.
You got your chest out. What do you
That's
mean?
true.
This is a day that's going to live in my infamy. I'm not looking suave.
You are.
You look suave.
There's no suaveness going on here right now.
The light blue suits you, Brad.
Yes. But meanwhile, I walk in and I said, what the hell's going on? Are you two like deciding like you're going to match every day
But we're
now?
not even matching. I don't
You are.
understand.
You're black and black. It looks like you're going, you're
I'm
like ready to go.
gray.
It looks like you're ready.
First of all, I look like I'm going to go to like a hip hop industry party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she could go on a date.
Yeah.
No,
or pick
no,
up my kids from
no,
soccer
you know what
camp.
you look like?
What?
You look like two co-hosts who got together and said, let's go
I
matchy-matchy.
promise we didn't.
That's exactly
She
what it
actually
looks
has
like.
a velvet blazer.
I do. I have a velvet
And she said that
blazer.
when I walked in. She was like, oh, I have one.
That's true. That was the first thing. I was like,
That's
you
how
should have
you know.
told me.
See?
By the way, Sweet Destiny Hansel
Yeah.
says, hello to the world's best lawyer.
Woo! Woo!
Whoa, thank you.
Hey.
Thank
Coming to
you.
the day at the early.
Thank you.
We're-
Hello
I like that.
to the best lawyer.
I like that.
A day that will live in infamy, however. Nevertheless.
You realize you
They
can't
don't
keep
understand-
saying
right,
that
'cause
if they don't know
understand
why.
Oh, they understand exactly why. Everybody understands why. Asset Lindo says, hello, my people. Molly Lobin Martin, hey, Barbara, Lolith Platt, squad up team, Deion Watson, squad up my Dukes. CC Mitchell, squad up everybody.
Yeah.
Kennedy Roy just says, hello, Lisa. Kennedy, come on. You just lost all the momentum there, right?
We were.
We were going good. Molly Lobin Martin, it says, hey, Tamika.
Damn.
Damn. And Kenny Roy also goes, hello, Tamika.
It's also the tone in which you say it.
Molly Lobin Martin, hey, ass.
Hey.
Yeah, Michu, Mikaboo, Michi goes, hey, hey. All right, and Molly Lobin, hey, Abigail. And Monduke says, at work, I'm just checking in, share the checkout, catch up later. Tina, Daria, bless up, squad family.
That's
There
right.
she is. There she
Bless
is.
up.
Squad up,
There she
by
is.
the
Deion
way?
Watson,
I like
squad
bless
up,
up.
Cece. Yeah.
That's right. Hey,
Now we get a
CC.
little energy.
Yeah.
First Lady Leah, squat up, Brad family.
Woo.
Now we're getting there. Now we're getting there, right?
Mhm.
Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Hey, Brad, Kim, Yo-Yo, Sam, squat up, all one love.
Yeah.
There we go.
You notice it always goes Brad, Kim, Yo-Yo, Sam.
Sam.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
It's like the order.
The order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jessica Levy says, squat up, my loves.
Ooh, hey,
Yes.
Jessica Lynn.
Dawn Harriet, hello,
Sam should
family,
sit right
squat
here.
up. Deion Watson, squat up, Carol. Molly Loban Martin says, hey, Dawn. And then, of course, Wendy Brown says, hello, guys.
Hey.
Hello, guys. Hello just brings down the,
Yeah, hello isn't as convivial.
as energetic as, like, Jessica Levy saying, squat up, Jamaica.
I like what is this? Abiodun Abdul.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said awesome and educative show. Thank you guys. I like that.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yes, Lolitha Platt, squat up, Carol, Cordella, Wendy, Barbara. Deion Watson says, you the best, Sam.
That's right.
That's right. That is right.
Shout out to Belgian Mom real quick.
Yeah.
Belgium Mama.
Belgian Mom,
What's up?
gotta do it. Would be a good daughter
Yes.
if I wasn't.
Narissa M. Jacobs, in with a question. Can you marry somebody who has a green card? You can marry whoever you would like. You can marry somebody with a green card, without a green card. You can marry someone who's a citizen. You can marry someone out of status. You can marry somebody in another country.
I feel like her
Sometimes
question
people
is
have to end
something
up
else.
doing.
Right.
You never know.
Sometimes people just have to get married.
No.
No, they don't need to do
No.
that.
Sometimes they just need
No,
to
you
take
don't.
that
They
leap
gotta
of
figure out
faith.
other routes.
Yeah.
New routes.
And there are new routes.
New routes.
Your Christian attorney can help you
Yeah.
if you don't want to go about that route.
And how long does it take, Belgium Kim, to get married to somebody with a green card, to get a green card? And that is 2.5 years.
Oh man, I was
Yes.
gonna get that
Yes.
wrong.
Okay.
I was gonna get that totally wrong.
Every time somebody's gonna call with, "Can I get married to get a green card?" Belgium Kim's gonna start yelling, "New route! New route! New route!"
I do not support. I do not support.
Yes.
Wendy
That's
Brown,
only funny for us.
the government is still shut down. That is very true. That is very
Right.
true. And Jeff Bosey, looks like you guys are having a snapping good time.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. That's right, Jeff Bosey. Where
So
have
how
you
we were
been?
right on?
Yeah,
We were
that's
ready.
right. You were
We're
ready
killing
for it. Oh, you know who's? We already said hello to Belgium Mama. Val Thomas. I don't understand why. What doesn't she understand, Val Thomas? Is there something that's going on before I read this that she doesn't understand why?
I
What
don't
would she not understand why? What would she not understand?
Is this
Val?
what Malia is saying?
I don't know. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, though.
Yeah.
Okay. The second person in the comments to say, of course, Brad is the best lawyer ever.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And also, we've got, I just
Yes.
lost it, but we had one from Carol Anderson, the Tiger, who said something about how dapper you looked. You look real good, apparently.
Who looks good?
You look
You.
good.
No, this is a day that will live in infamy.
You can still look good
You
on
can
bad
still look
days.
good, right? That just means you're a naturally handsome
I
man.
look good on bad
It's a
days all the
bad
time.
day. A bad day.
It's because it's raining, guys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Raining on his parade.
It's raining on my parade. You know what Belgium Kim said? I walk in, she goes, Brad, turn that frown upside down.
That's true.
That's right. She goes, we got a show to do.
Yeah.
We got to entertain people. We got to give people information. She said, Belgium Kim, she said, you know what? You're the best lawyer, Brad. And start acting like it.
Right.
That's right.
Start acting like one.
Little
Slap
tough love
them.
pep talk.
Yeah.
Slap them like ta-ta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop acting. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, double.
And she went like that. And went, boom, right in my face.
Right,
And
right.
you know what I did? I said, thank you, I needed that.
You
Yeah.
bucked up.
Right.
You bucked up.
I said, thank you, I needed that. Belgium Kim goes, you want another one? I go, no.
Right.
Because I will. I'm fired up
No,
now.
I don't want
She was all ready.
I'm sorry, says squat up, Brad, Kim, Yo-Yo. Hope you all doing well. No,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not.
No, we
Today that will live in
Oh, my
infamy.
God.
I'm sorry. Ruthie Cutie, squat up, everybody. Carol, the Cat Tigress, 2 Anderson, squat up, everybody, and the show, and Brad squat. Afala, what is this? Percortez? P. Cortez. Alfara. At first I thought it said, I thought it was Alfara Prozac. I don't know. But it's Alfara Per Cortez, who wrote the hardship letter for I-601A for the undocumented spouse of the U.S. citizen spouse, or both. Do you understand that question?
No.
Let's read it again.
One more.
Who writes the hardship letter for the I-601A, the undocumented spouse, or the U.S. citizen spouse? It is the hardship goes to the U.S. citizen spouse. It has nothing to do with the undocumented spouse. So it's all done by the U.S. citizen.
Look at you
You're going right into it.
I'm going right into it.
That's for Alfara PR Cortez.
That's what it is.
Puerto Rican, maybe?
Puerto Rican Cortez.
There it is.
Alfara Puerto Rican Cortez.
There it is.
There it is.
That sounds much. Yes.
And of course, BK Ricky.
Back it up, Ricky.
Back it up, Ricky. Back it up,
Back it up, Ricky.
Not a thing, you guys.
It is.
Back it up,
It is a
Ricky
thing.
now.
It is
Back
a
it up,
thing.
Ricky now.
It is a thing.
Good evening. Happy Thursday. Hi to everyone. By the way, you know what we do have to do is we have to come up with nicknames for Sean and
Oh, yes.
Shannon.
and Shannon. Have you thought of any?
This is all you, though. That's all you.
That's
No, I have not thought of any.
But
What's
we don't
yours?
give names.
You don't
You
give
bless us with our
You've
names.
bl-
We have a picture of. Let's put up Sean first. We gotta take a. You know what it is?
Do we
Because
have a
I
row
always think
picture of
about it.
Sean?
Wait, do you
Do we
guys
have
have
pictures?
pictures?
Yes, you have a
There was
picture,
no
Sean.
picture.
Put it
Throw
up.
pictures of our people
You don't have
just like
pictures of people?
chilling.
Put Sean up on the screen. Let's come up with a name.
Bring him in the studio.
Bring him in the studio.
Traipse
Bring
him on
him in. Bring him in
through.
a second. All right. Come on, Brad. Gotta come up with names for him. Come
We
on,
do have to
Brad.
come up with names.
I'm hearing about you. Come on, Brad.
We
Come on,
got a
Brad.
show.
I'm a survivor. I'm here. Don't mark me absent.
Ah.
Yes. And Dawn Harriet says Squad Obama. And AMG by LB Guys. Hello, the best squad in the world. And Fancy Cat says, hi, guys. And Jill Go Productions. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Happy Thursday.
Hey.
I
You know
rarely
that.
see Jill Go Productions. Does she comment on YouTube a lot?
She does.
She does. I don't see it.
Not a lot, but she comments
I
on
don't see
YouTube.
it.
She comments on Facebook.
See it now.
I see her commenting on Facebook.
We see
Lady
her now.
Leah, is this Dress Up Thursday? You all looking like you going to the Academy Awards show. Looking sharp, team.
Well,
We are not going to the Academy
well,
Awards.
Thank you.
But we may be going to the Emmys. We'll see.
Yeah,
That's for TV.
that's.
That's not going to happen.
But I was gonna say
We can
for
have
an
an Emmy
award-
background.
That is not going to happen.
That's true.
Let's have an Emmy
Yes.
background.
And by the way, Lady Leah says, I am not alone because Lady Leah also cannot snap her fingers.
Really?
Yeah, there are people in this world, Jonathan, who don't know how to snap fingers.
That's such
Okay,
a
and you
weird
shouldn't
thing.
come down on people.
I will not discriminate.
because you have a talent that other people don't.
You can have that talent.
All right.
Not a
I'd rather
talent.
know how to sing.
Do I sit here and say, yeah, Jonathan, you didn't know what form it was, did you? Huh? You didn't
Well,
know? You didn't know it was the I-601A, did you, Jonathan?
In my
Huh?
defense, sometimes you throw questions at me and you know I don't know the answer.
Do you know how to whistle? I don't know how to whistle.
I don't know how to whistle.
You don't know how to whistle either.
I do,
was
but
trying.
I have to take out
You know how to
my
whistle?
teeth.
Oh, don't do
He's
that. That's
so-
gross. Oh, don't do
and
that.
you
Well,
guys
don't.
That's gross.
Don't,
Why
don't
would you do that?
Well, I have to. Anyways,
Who asked you to do that?
now I can't do it while I'm laughing.
You just took out
You
your
guys
teeth.
are making not my real teeth. See,
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. So Jonathan has everything. I have just the snap, and you
I can't
have.
do that. Well, so it's just that those are the only two
Like
things,
bodily-
things you can do?
Do
What
you
else?
make a fire?
Oh, I can do that.
You can do that?
Stop.
Yeah, I have to
Stop.
take off
You'd
my
have to-
clothes. I'm
All
not
of a
gonna
sudden,
do that.
Jonathan's taking off everything.
Yeah, look at
Show us all your little tricks.
Yolette Wilson says, Brad, you're in some mood today.
Yeah.
You noticed. You want to know why? Because it's going to take a little bit of allergy.
You're not supposed to let them know you're feeling some type of way.
Yeah, I'm feeling some type of way today.
Do you know the last time a day lived in infamy, Brad?
Japanese bomb.
Yes, the Japanese bomb.
That's how I feel. That's exactly it. That's exactly how I feel.
Hey.
That is exactly
Drama.
how
It's not
I
dramatic
feel.
at all, exactly.
Right, you know. Yeah, I felt like the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor.
Bombed your Pearl Harbor.
Bombed my Pearl Harbor. And with that, we got to get to some schmoozing,
Thank
Belgium
you.
Kim. Before we get to schmoozing, before we get to schmoozing. No share game.
No share game, but hey, you guys all noticed that Brad is feeling some type of way, so let's just share for the name and sake of Brad. All right?
It's gonna cheer him up, you guys.
Yeah.
And if you hit a thumbs up on YouTube, that really cheers him up too.
Absolutely.
You can imagine all of a sudden that my day that lives in infamy turns into like my day of like beautiful sunshine because we have like 1,000 shares.
We have our most watched show of all time.
All jokes aside, he would literally be happy
That's true.
all night and all day tomorrow if you guys do share and you get up to, something better than what you guys have been doing,
Meanwhile, James Campbell wants to know, Brad, do you file the I-601 before going abroad? If you're filing for the provisional waiver because you've overstayed your time here by more than a year, you do that before you go abroad, but that's on the I-601A. But if you need an I-601 for some inadmissible offense other than overstaying on your visa, you would do the I-601 after you get turned down at the U.S. Embassy.
Man, look at you.
And Natalie Nichols, are we still sharing or what? Well, I'm sharing and inviting.
Oh, good woman,
good
Natalie.
For
like
you,
that.
Natalie Nichols.
Yeah.
Good for you. And with that, we got to get to some schmoozing.
Yes.
All right, so there will be no State of the Union at the moment. The government is still shut down.
Right.
As, who said it earlier? Malia said. I call her Malia.
You do.
Just like it's Jessica Leamy.
Jessica Leamy.
Right, Malia, right.
Malia.
The government is shut down 33 days, the longest shutdown in the history of the United States of America.
Really?
The government has never been shut down this much. Tomorrow will be the second paycheck that federal workers do not receive.
Sheesh.
It seems that the billionaires in the White House, Donald Trump, Steve Mnuchin, who's the Treasury Secretary, billionaire, and Wilbur Ross, billionaire, who is the Commerce Secretary, don't give a crap that people are not getting paychecks. As a matter of fact, Wilbur Ross says, what's the big deal? Go get a loan.
Right.
What?
Yes. He says people... Are you kidding me? You're working
So
from paycheck to
disrespectful,
paycheck,
man.
and now you should go get a loan because Donald Trump wants a wall, and now I got to go put myself in debt and have to pay interest on a loan back after I get my paycheck back?
So they're going to get paid eventually.
Eventually. That's why he said go get a loan, because the banks know you're going to get paid once the government reopens. But why should I have to go into debt?
Right.
Why should I have to go pay
Right.
interest to a bank?
And why do you find that normal as the Commerce Secretary?
Meanwhile, between all of this, Donald Trump said Nancy Pelosi has disinvited Donald Trump to go speak before Congress to give the State of the Union.
Yes.
So the way it works is that in the Constitution of the United States, it says the president shall give it a speech or something in writing. It doesn't have to always be a speech, but go to Congress every year or thereabouts. I'm paraphrasing, to go tell Congress, the Senate and the House of Representatives, what's going on in the United States of America.
Right.
And he has to be invited into Congress. He can't just walk in.
No.
He just can't just announce I'm here.
Not his house.
Right. It's not his house, exactly. Right. And Nancy Pelosi says he will not be invited because the American people have more important things to do than worry about your political speech for the State of the Union when people are not getting paid.
Yep.
With all of that being said and done, Donald Trump said a few days ago, well, I'll give my State of the Union somewhere else. There's no law that says I have to give it in the actual Congress.
So annoying.
Maybe I'll give it on the steps of Congress. Maybe I'll give it in North Dakota. Maybe I'll do it from the chair of the White House in the Oval Office. And then he figured out something.
What?
That if he actually does it, he would be degrading himself.
Well,
because he would be degrading himself because the whole idea of giving it before the Congress is because you are presenting yourself as the leader of the United States of America, and if you were to do it anywhere else, you would present yourself as a weak person.
Right.
So so he has now decided not to do it.
Wow.
So there will be, as of now, no State of the Union.
That's crazy.
Address.
How often, or has that happened before?
The last time there was no State of the Union, they go back to the early 1800s.
What?
Correct.
You know, I honestly feel like he took this presidency on just to like break records.
No,
longest government shutdown.
He went and campaigned. We're gonna drain the swamp, and let me tell you something. There is nothing swampier.
Yeah.
Nothing more dirty and swampier than this administration.
Absolutely.
He wrote a book, The Art of the Deal. Okay, his famous book, The Art of the Deal. I know how to negotiate. He knows how to negotiate. This is the longest government shutdown ever.
Right.
The art of the deal is the art of compromise. That is a negotiation.
Right.
The art of the deal in negotiating is continuing to talk.
Wow.
The last time there was a negotiation between Trump, Pelosi, and Schumer, he stood up. He said, "Are you going to give me my wall?" They said no, and he stood up and he walked out and said, "There's nothing to talk about." That is not the art of. That is a 5-year-old.
Exactly.
A 5-year-old does that. The art of negotiation is you stay in that room and you continue the conversation, and you continue and you continue. You never stop talking, and eventually, because once you stop talking, there's no negotiation anymore.
Right. I can't even see Donald Trump ever negotiating, like ever.
Politics is the art of compromise. There is no compromise anymore in the United States of America. That is the problem.
Right.
That is the problem.
He's the king alligator, you guys. He wasn't going to drain the swamp.
Meanwhile, and he knows how to negotiate. Okay. So what has he done so far? Kim Jong-un still has nuclear weapons.
Right.
We're in a trade war with China.
Right.
We're in a fight with Mexico and Canada.
Right.
We're in a fight with the European Union.
Right.
We have a closed government. And as a matter of fact, the pilots union and the union that represents the
air traffic
controllers have come out and said that they are extraordinarily concerned for the safety of people who are flying on airplanes right now, because the people who are in charge of the safety of getting an airplane from point A to point B are not getting paid. And they have more pressing things on their mind than watching your airplane go across their radar screen. And they are very concerned that there is going to be an accident as a result.
Oh my
the
God.
head of the TSA, the transportation, not the TSA, who does the, not transportation, the TSA, right?
Yeah,
TSA, right? Okay.
TSA.
They came out and said they're concerned about that someone's going to get on a plane with a knife, a gun, a bomb, because they're short-staffed.
Of course.
People are calling out sick. It's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem.
That's
Plus
scary.
plus our government workers, our civil servants who help us every day, they have to go collect food stamps now. They have to go for handouts.
Right.
And then what about all the businesses that rely on the government workers? There are towns and cities where there's restaurants and other businesses that are close to the government offices that are going to go out of business.
Absolutely.
So it's not just the 800,000 civil servants.
Absolutely not.
Because Donald Trump wants a concrete wall.
Right. I can't imagine how much Washington, D.C. must have come to a standstill at this point.
Well, you don't see it here in New York City because there is government workers in New York City, but New York City is really, a much more diverse workforce. But you definitely see it in many cities.
Yep. Absolutely.
Meanwhile, you saw the Oscar nominations came out.
Yeah.
Yes, and the
definitely happy
Roma,
for one of them.
Roma, which won at the
Golden Globes.
Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for finishing my sentence.
I got you. We're very
yes.
mind-melding today.
Won at the Golden Globes for Best Movie.
Yeah.
It's actually a Netflix movie.
It is.
Has now 10 Oscar nominations.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Love that.
However, one of the stars of the movie, his name is Jorge Antonio Guerrero. He plays the role of Furman. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, me neither.
The boyfriend of the breakout star Yalitza Aparicio.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yes. And he has been turned down for his visa application. So he, as a star of this movie, for 10 Oscar nominations, has been turned down 3 times by the U.S. consulate in Mexico for a visitor's visa.
What?
Why? Because the U.S. consulate in Mexico says, we think he's coming here to work.
Right.
He's coming to the Academy Awards.
Right.
So he can't even come for
At the
get
moment,
a
at the
visitor's
moment,
visa?
he can't even get a visitor's visa. At the moment, his movie, in which he is a lead role in the movie,
That's
one of the lead
insane.
actors in a movie,
Yep.
in this day and age, can't get a visa to come to the Oscars to collect his award.
That's insane.
That is insane.
Stupid.
That is stupid as stupid can be.
So
Something like that would make me just want to be like, F it, and I'm going to get here one way or another.
Right.
And I'm
Can
going
you
to break the
imagine
law.
if this guy starts running across the border?
Yeah.
I'm
No,
not trying to get
And
to
then,
the
and then
Oscars.
Donald Trump will say, "You see, I told you need a wall. We got
Right.
to stop all these actors from coming in, taking jobs away from Jonathan Yo-Yo Elliott."
And, well, that's what Canada does. They actually did that to my friend. He had like a bunch of camera equipment in the back of his car, and when he was driving up to Canada, he was actually just helping his friend with his senior project for film school. And they turned him away. They said, "You guys can't come up." And he was like, "I'm doing this for free. I'm helping him with his project." They were like, "No, because you're taking jobs from
taking a
Canadian.
job away
Jobs away
from
from because even if because you're doing it for free, you're undercutting the Canadian workforce. Because they should pay a Canadian money.
Right.
Why would anybody pay a Canadian money if you're coming to work for free? You understand the thinking behind it?
It's a student film.
It doesn't matter.
Well, this is not a student film. He
This
is
yeah.
obviously
Oh, I guarantee you.
not coming.
You would have saw my ass at the Oscars.
Right, that's the thing.
And the police running behind me at the red carpet.
It's why he wasn't at the
Take my
Golden-
pictures and run. I'm gonna be there.
Hey, Lady Gaga. No, it's
Meryl
why he
Streep.
photobomb Tom Hanks.
And run. Police behind me.
Wow. Yeah, no. That's why he didn't go to the Golden Globes either.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't go
That
to the
is foul.
Yeah.
He didn't go to the Golden Globes. He couldn't
did
make
not.
it.
Yeah.
He couldn't make it.
That's foul.
Yes.
so
yes.
sad.
Maybe they should have. Actually, Fox Racing has a very good point that he should be by video conference, which would make a very good point about immigration.
Yeah.
To the Oscars,
Yeah.
to 1 billion people who watch it.
Ooh.
That's a great.
That would be a great thing.
If they win for Best Movie, I hope that they let him do that
let
because
him
I
do
don't
it.
think
Wow.
he's nominated personally for it, but like I hope they let him do that.
Let him give a speech.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
By video conference.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Be
Absolutely.
petty as
That
That
would
would
be
be a really good
amazing.
idea. Very good, Fox.
That
Racing.
is.
That's a great
Very
idea.
good idea. Meanwhile, there's a woman in Wichita Falls. Where's Wichita Falls? Kansas?
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yes.
Wichita.
Yeah, in Wichita Falls,
Wichita.
Kansas, there's a woman in Wichita Falls, Kansas, who's living her best life.
It's Texas.
Oh, it's Wichita Falls, Texas.
It's
Okay.
Texas.
Well, wherever she is,
Yeah.
she's living her best life.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the police received a unique call Friday morning.
Yeah.
That was about 7 days ago, involving a woman drinking wine in a Walmart parking lot. The employees requested officers to ban a woman from the local Walmart store after she reportedly had been drinking wine from a Pringles can for several hours while riding on an electric cart. The incident began shortly after 9 a.m. Friday when officers responded to a call to check on a suspicious person drinking out of a Pringles can, driving around the Walmart parking lot.
I fuck with her. Sorry. Excuse
Wichita
me.
Falls, Texas.
Excuse me.
Now, the woman was reportedly riding on the electric shopping cart, more commonly used for people with physical limitations.
Yes.
Okay? But she decided to live her best life
Yes.
and drink wine out of a Pringles can and commandeer the handicap electric
Let
cart.
me find
My
this
girl.
lady.
My
Yes.
girl.
I would have been rolling right next to her.
Yup.
What's up, girl?
Just like
Need
so-
a refill?
The incident has now
Everything.
inspired a bar to give us a new alcoholic creation to enjoy. She got arrested, this woman.
Why?
The Branch, a bar in Houston, has decided to honor the Walmart woman by serving wine in Pringles cans. Right. So now there is a bar in Houston, Texas called The Branch, and for $3 you can get Chopless or Frenzia Merlot served right inside a Pringle can. No word on whether or not they have been cleaned before
Wait.
being
Can-
handed over to the customers with the wine in it.
I hope she's making some type of money off of that, though.
Why?
I don't know, but
That's her idea.
By the way, I have to give props to Jilly Bean.
Yeah.
Because she did share. This is the one story I do.
Yeah.
So I go, why would this woman do that? And Jilly Bean goes, because she's living her best life.
There you go.
She's living her best
She
life.
is.
Why
I
would
love
anybody
it.
do that? She's
She's a
living her
genius.
best life.
Pringles cans fit an entire bottle of
Yes.
wine perfectly. They're airtight, watertight. There's no reason not to.
Wait, how do you know this?
Because
How you know it fits a whole bottle perfectly?
a little Pringles dust in a fine wine is really delicious.
Meanwhile, two of the most pacifist countries in the world.
Yeah.
What do you think that one of the of major not third world countries, but westernized first world countries? What do you think are the two most pacifist?
Denmark.
No.
Sweden.
No. Canada and Norway.
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
You're very close.
We were in the
but
room.
they are embroiled in a fight
Yeah.
to the death.
To the
Canada
death.
and Norway are
Golly.
now arch enemies.
At war.
Really?
If they actually had militaries, they would be at war with each other right now. Thank God there's no nuclear weapons in Canada or Norway, because the world would not be safe right now. They are mad as hell at each other.
Why?
What the hell's wrong?
Well, they're apparently in a dispute over the world's largest moose statue.
Get out of here.
I am not kidding. Mayor of the city of Moose Jaw, Canada. There is such a city called Moose Jaw, Canada. He says there are some things you just don't do to Canadians. You don't water down their beer. You don't tell us you can't put maple syrup on our pancakes. And you don't mess with Mac the Moose. Now, Mac, who is located in the city of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada, has been the tallest sculpture of a moose in the world for the past 3 decades, standing a total feet of 32 feet up in the air.
Wow.
Now, I want you to know, when I was on the elephant in Thailand, I was only about 10 feet up in the air, and that seemed pretty high.
That's a high.
So if you were
It's a
on top
high
of this,
moose.
that's like 3 elephants.
One
Okay.
high.
Now, just recently,
One high
however, just so Norway could just poke Saskatchewan right in the eye.
Oh no.
They unveiled a 33-foot tall moose statue of their own called Storlogen.
Oh, and it looks
There's
nice.
Storlogen.
That's a sharp looking moose.
Now
I'd be
the
mad, too.
Saskatchewan, Canada moose has taken the new world record moose a little personally.
The Canada moose looks horrible compared to that Norway one.
claiming that Mac in Canada, who is all known as the pride of the entire Great White North. Now Mac has been standing there since 1984 and was created out of steel, metal, and layers of concrete. Stolgergogen.
Nice.
I think I got the name right.
Your Norwegian is flawless.
One, thank you. It's mirrored stainless steel, giving off a rather garish shine in the sunlight as a result.
That looks gorgeous.
It's
So,
sleek as hell.
Wait, is it on top of a road?
Yeah.
Wait, let's go back. I was reading the card. Let me see. I didn't even look at
Like,
what
do
this...
cars go under it?
No, next to
no,
it.
I think
Doesn't
it
it look
looks
like
it's
it?
on like a horse path, like you would
Yeah,
ride a horse
it
under
looks
it.
like a
or
They
little
have a lot
trail.
of moose
Yeah, like a
there?
trail, yeah.
Is that...
Oh, yes, this is way up north. There's moose
they
in
have
Norway.
hella
There's moose in
mooses.
Norway. Now, Linda Backey. Okay, I mean, because I'm getting deep into this story.
Deep.
Yeah, you are.
All right, I
Yeah,
love
it
this
is.
story.
It's a great story.
Great story. The designer, she is the architect of the Norwegian moose, said she's been researching large moose statues around the world.
Oh.
And she found out about Mac and thought it would be a little fun to beat Canada at
Wow.
something. Because Norway
That's
always
petty.
loses to Canada, apparently.
Dang.
Now, Canada, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
they're one up and down Norway.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are taking steps to remedy this problem.
What?
Yes, they are. They have Saskatchewan, Canada, has now started a GoFundMe page.
Get out of here.
I am not getting out of here.
My
They have
God.
set up to make Mac the biggest moose in the world again. Now, what they are going to
looks
do
real mad on the
is they
right.
are going to add a bigger leg onto Mac.
Oh my God.
So they have raised so far $11,000, but they need another $39,000. So now Mac the Moose can overtake Stolengorsen in Norway to become again the world's largest
I'm
moose.
so mad at that.
Why this is important to anybody's life, I don't know. I find it actually funny that this actually made a newspaper article.
It's
pretty mad.
amazing.
Yes. So, Backy,
Yeah.
Okay, for her part, was surprised at the Canadian response. That's the architect of
Right.
the Norwegian moose.
Right.
Not having realized how important it is to Saskatchewan,
Right.
Canada, to have the world's largest moose. She says, I have to admit that I didn't think about that Mac the Moose meant so much for the citizens of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. Well, I have to say, there's not a lot to think about up there, you know? I mean, I don't know how much, there's not a lot of pride up there.
Right.
City is
Right?
called Moose Jaw.
The city's is Moose Jaw. I mean, there's not a lot going on up there in Moose Jaw. They don't got a lot to be prideful for up in Moose Jaw, but they
Except
got
for
the
that
world's
moose.
goddamn biggest moose.
And you just
don't
took
mess
that
with
away.
them. Yes.
Not anymore.
So now she has a bad conscience about it, and she
Oh.
feels
Aw.
really bad, this architect. They made her feel really
right.
bad.
She
Wait.
she
They
made
her
a
feel very bad.
33-foot moose,
Yeah.
an inch, or what? Is that a foot
Like, it's a
taller?
foot taller,
A
yeah.
foot taller than their moose. She knew exactly what she was doing.
The most heart-wrenching part about this story, Brad, is the
what?
very last bullet. Did you happen to see that?
It also appears that the feud won't end.
It's not.
It's not going to end. I didn't read all the bullets.
I know.
It's not going to end with giving back a bigger pair of antlers, a hat, and a larger foot. Baki has already stated that the Norwegians plan on building another large moose. This one double the size. 65 feet tall and made of gold. Beat that, Canada!
That's a lie. That's
Beat
a lie.
that, Canada!
Are you
Right?
serious?
It's so
Made out of gold.
That's right. Beat that, Canada! We dare you!
We can't do
We
it.
dare you!
That would be so hurtful after they raised their little $50,000.
Right. They're going to raise the 50 grand.
I said that would hurt so much. They're working so hard to raise $50,000 just to put it up probably 2 feet.
Yeah.
So this is what Norway is saying to Canada. What is this picture we're going to see? There's a fighting words. Those are fighting words. Fighting words.
One of my favorite things also is that the mayor said, you can't tell us we can't put maple syrup on our pancakes.
That's
Who
right.
is telling you
There's
this?
3 things you can't tell Canadians.
That's the city
Right?
I want to
What was
visit.
it? What was it?
Don't water
I'm
down the
dropping this
beer.
thing, right?
Don't
Don't water down the beer.
Which fair?
Right, don't put maple syrup
down
on
for that.
pancake. Yeah, never tell a Canadian don't put maple syrup on a pancake.
Who would tell you that?
I don't know.
The Canadians. Who are telling you that? It's not the Americans. Like, we're not telling you that.
Finally, I want to get to this one story because this made me laugh too, and then we're going to get to our immigration questions.
Yeah.
There's a terrible, terrible tourist, the worst tourist in the world, have just taken over New Zealand. I don't know if you read this one or not. You know this, you're laughing.
I may have heard
Yes.
about this.
For weeks, a terrible family of 12 unruly tourists from the United Kingdom, it's always the United Kingdom, right?
Always.
Has wrought a trail of destruction from Auckland all the way to Hamilton, New Zealand. Apparently, it started last week when New Zealand's social media was flooded with video footage from an Auckland beach in which a Kiwi woman, someone from New Zealand,
Right.
confronted a tourist about trash that they left strewn across the beach, incling beer bottles and baby wipes.
God, that's
Oh,
disgusting.
hell
Yeah,
no.
that's disgusting.
The woman shooting the video said she was intimidated by several UK adults in the group before being threatened by a shirtless boy of about 9 years old wearing an oversized straw hat. In the video, the boy, having detected his family's honor, is being called into question, marched purposefully up to the fracas and shout, "I'm going to knock your brains out."
What?
Do we have a video of
I
that?
can't.
Do we have a video?
Not a video.
We do not have a video of the boy yelling, "I'm going to knock your brains out." I don't have a British. Who has a British accent? Who can do a British accent?
He can. He's
You
great.
do a
at it.
British accent?
Uh,
Say, can you do a 9-year-old British boy saying, "I'm going to knock your brains out"?
9-year-old
I'm gonna knock your brains out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Soon after, some other New Zealanders came forward with their own stories of also unpleasant encounters with the unrepentant tourists.
Oh my God.
Turns out that this bad family has been wreaking havoc all over the country for over a week. The family's alleged crimes have been met with many varied stories. They've been accused of purposely contaminating meals with ants
Oh my God.
and strands of hair to get out of paying the hundreds of dollars worth of food that they ordered. So they go into a restaurant and they throw ants on the food so they don't have to pay for it.
Oh
They
my
left
God.
a poop-filled baby onesie on a plane
Okay.
No.
and walked through a Burger King drive-through without being in a car.
Savages.
Savages. Sightings of the family have become so notorious
Don't come out
within New
here
Zealand.
with that.
With that, news organizations started issuing public emergency alerts. They've been cited in Bunnings hardware store and has hassled a member of the public, said one of these alerts. They've tried to turn staff against each other in an Auckland cafe before running away without paying.
Oh my
These are like Amber Alerts in the United States. And then the last alert that came out from New Zealand authorities said they rudely demanded to use a random man's scooter. And they were spotted throwing their toast on the floor of a restaurant. Can you imagine the government is putting out warnings for this family?
Crazy.
That's crazy. It's not entirely clear who the family is, but we do know that they come from the United Kingdom. One of the family members, John Johnson, said his grandfather was the 10th richest man in England, but according to the Telegraph's 2018 British rich list, the 10th richest man in England is the Duke of Westminster. The family court such as that immigration served a deportation notice on the grounds of bad character.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
They got deported.
They got
As
deported.
tourists. Oh my God.
But I thought the funniest is like they're issuing countrywide emergency alerts when they're in the Burger King. They're dropping toast on the floor. They're turning staff against one another.
Constant notifications. Watch out.
Constant notifications. That's just too funny.
That's amazing.
Too funny. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Sean on our Facebook just said they're going to get a reality show. I think he's absolutely right. They have to get a reality show.
They absolutely will.
Somebody buy their show.
Yeah. So before we get into our immigration questions, and let's see what we got going on here. All right, we have about 7 or 8 people on hold right now.
Awesome.
Okay. I'd like to go to Anna Banana.
Okay.
Anna Ascona, our field correspondent in Miami, who has another edition of That Just Doesn't Make Any Sense, where she discusses the partial government shutdown, the wall, and a GoFundMe campaign. Let's check it out.
Hey friends from the Brad Show Live, I'm Anna Ascona. As the new year begins, the Trump drama still continues. Let's talk about this new big great wall that he wants to build out of steel barrier instead of concrete. Trump says that it would be much more stronger and less obstructive, but guess what? He's still asking Congress for $5.7 billion to build this big great steel wall. Meanwhile, we're entering the 5th week of the government shutdown. Trump is planning to declare a national emergency government shutdown, all so he can get his proposed wall. Trump says he has the right to declare a national emergency if he doesn't get the funds for his wall, and he says the government is backing him up. He said, how can we say that a wall doesn't work? He says that it would be more effective to solve so many killings, human trafficking, and to avoid criminals just driving straight through the wall. First of all, who said that these immigrants crossing are criminals? Most of them are refugees running from crime from their countries. I just want to know, does he think that the 5-year-olds crossing are drug lords? And what proof does he have that these people are criminals? And it just sucks the way Fox News portrays them as if they are criminals. No, this is not accurate. And this is not true. These people are trying to ask for help, which we can help them. Our country has the capability of helping them, but they choose not to. Back to the government shutdown. This is so unfair and selfish from Donald Trump to not even care that most of these employees are not getting paid. How does he know they have enough in their savings account to pay their bills, buy food for their homes, and just overall support themselves? Trump supporters are supporting his decision of a government shutdown by creating a GoFundMe campaign by a big Trump fan, Brian Kolfage. The campaign has raised over $20 million. These Trump supporters must really hate immigrants, because to raise such a large amount for a wall, when people struggle to raise money for a funeral, for someone who's sick, someone who needs a medical treatment, but for a wall to prevent immigrants to come to this country, you raise $20 million like nothing. That just doesn't make any sense, and people need to get their priorities right.
And with that, we're going to get to our immigration questions right now in this little segment that we like to call with Your Immigration Questions. I'm going to answer them right now. All right, so we got Joy in Hamilton, New Jersey. Joy, how are you?
Hi, hello, Brad. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
All right, I have a friend. Okay, she's married to a citizen, but she doesn't know if she's to put in her I-130 first On top of that, he's living with his mom, but he contributes. So,
All right. So, do they live together with the mom?
What was that?
They live together in the same household, so the husband, wife, and the mom all live together.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. They put in a whole adjustment all at one time.
Okay, everything one time.
One time.
So like how he contributes and there's no bill in his name, it doesn't really matter?
Well, you're gonna have to prove they live together. So maybe mom will write a letter saying they contribute, but they have to have some mail come to them at their address. They have to have some bank account and credit cards or something. They got to show a driver's license that says they live there. I mean, nobody lives somewhere in 2019 and doesn't get one item of mail addressed to you in your married name.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It's impossible.
Can I ask you one more question, Brad? All right. For another friend that she's going to marry to a green card holder.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it is wise to marry to a green card holder?
I think it's very wise. I think it's very wise if you're in love. Yes.
Okay. So what did she do first?
Just the I-130 only. Just the I-130.
What was that?
Just an I-130. It's a different process when you marry a green card holder than a citizen. So hold on one second. So she would need a consultation. Hold on one second. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Betty in Brooklyn, New York. Betty.
Hello, how you doing, Mr. Brad?
How are you?
I'm good. Long time I didn't hear from you.
You didn't hear from me?
No, because I was used to listening to y'all on the radio when I'm at work. Now I get home too late.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. She's like, a long time I heard from you. I'm like, I don't know.
No,
when did I ever call Betty? You know, I'm sorry.
No, yes, I used to be on your show a lot.
Oh,
but I have a serious question.
What?
This is serious. Good one here.
Okay, good.
Okay, my nephew.
Yes.
He met this young lady. She's 18.
Right.
And she's a citizen, so he wants to marry her. So she could file for him to make him a citizen.
Okay.
Okay, for at the age of 18 for her, will it work?
How old is he?
32.
That's a big age difference, 18 and 32. But yes, if it's a bona fide marriage, yes.
Okay.
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 All right. But that's a big age difference. That's it's almost marrying a child. It is marrying a child.
No, but I mean, would that be?
It's legal. It's legal.
Okay.
It's legal.
Would that be something that they would look at deeper?
Maybe.
Because of that.
But you live together. It's a real marriage. So be it. You know, if they're both happy.
Hey, that's
right.
Age ain't nothing but a number.
No, it's
no age is a number because if they were 17, you would go to jail.
Not in certain states.
That was R. Kelly wrote that song. We don't sing that anymore.
All right, Devin, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
What's going on?
All right, good to hear. So I have a question. I have a friend. She is actually married to her husband. She filed a VAWA case about 2 or 3 years ago, but it got denied. But she and her husband are still together, and now he wants to file for her. Would that be an issue?
No, as long as they're together and they can prove it's a real marriage, it's fine. They could have had a problem, and now they're back.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. That's it.
All right. Let's go to Mohammed in Jordan. Jordan, this is Jordan, the country.
Yes.
Mohammed,
Jordan.
what's going on?
Hey, how are you, Mr. Brad?
What call?
Thank you.
What brings you to call us today?
Yesterday I had a question. Actually, today I had two questions.
Oh, this is Mohammed!
No, it's not Mohammed. You're Mohammed. I'm a different guy.
Oh, this is not Mohammed with the refugee Mohammed. This is not refugee Mohammed. This is
I'm
different.
sorry to disappoint you guys. I'm not that Mohammed.
I thought we still like Mohammed. I thought this was refugee Mohammed, right? Right.
Yes.
Okay. What is your question, Mohammed?
Okay. My question is, I'm asking for a friend. He has a misdemeanor since a long time, and he did the probation successfully. And he is in a permanent resident 10 years. And his question is, when he can file for the citizenship, how long?
5 years. He needs 5 years good moral character. So 5 years from whenever his probation and his whatever, when the case is over. So let's say he got a misdemeanor and they said, okay, you do a 1 year probation.
Yes.
So it's going to be 5 years at the end of that probation. If he got a misdemeanor and they said pay a fine and that's it, 5 years after he paid the fine.
Okay. The second question is, yesterday I did ask you about me. I did cut the bracelet and left to my country, to Jordan.
Oh, I remember you. Right. Okay, I remember now. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I did call 4 lawyers. 3 of them says that I will do a year and a half to 3 years to be approved, and I will have to file waiver 601.
I would need to review. I would need to review all of your records. I don't remember. I remember the question that you cut off your bracelet. That in of itself is a crime. So you have all sorts of issues.
Yes.
I wouldn't suggest doing anything or filing anything. The only thing I would do at this point in time is hire me or hire a good lawyer to review all of your records and then decide what to do. Any lawyer, any lawyer, I want you to know something. Any lawyer who's going to give you advice based on you being in deportation, having an ankle bracelet on, you cutting the anklet bracelet off and self-deporting yourself, and saying this is what you're going to do without reviewing your records is like a doctor trying to operate without a CAT scan, an X-ray, and a blood test. Okay, there's certain things you got to do ahead of time to make sure that what you're saying and what you're doing is correct.
Okay, so what I need to do is just send you the depositions and
no, you need to hold on and make
no,
I will not do anything. You need to have a consultation. That's what you need to do. Don't send me anything. Hold on.
Okay.
Because you send me random. Don't send me random stuff in the mail because it's not going to get to me. Hold on 1 second. All right, we need a consultation. Let's go to Aria in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Erla, excuse
Hello?
me. Erla, how are you?
I'm fine.
What's going on?
Yes, I'm just calling because I'm hearing on the street saying, all right, I'm in America for 6 years now. I don't file taxes with my husband because we having like conflicts. We're getting this money from who getting that money.
Right.
And I can't bother with the stress. So I want to put in my citizenship. So I want to know if that's a problem.
How long have you had your green card?
I've had it for 6 years now.
No, it's not a problem. Don't worry about it. As long as you have a tax return. As long as you have a tax return, it's fine. All right.
Okay.
Let's go to Sebastian in Aurora, Illinois. Sebastian.
You are awesome, Brett, and you become more patient lately.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
I didn't know I wasn't patient. When was I not patient?
Sometimes you get a little snappy.
Sometimes I get a little snappy. I'm like a little turtle sometimes.
You gotta be on my side now.
I'm on your side, Sebastian. Sometimes he's a little snappy.
Okay, guys, okay.
He knows when he is too. Sometimes you feel bad sometimes.
Yeah, I do feel bad.
Yeah.
No, he's the best, guys.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, whoever listen, you guys have trouble, you stay with Brett. He's taking care of everybody.
I will. I'll try.
Did you remember I called yesterday?
Yes.
But I screw things to my brother, and he got pissed off. He listened our conversation. When you tell him beautiful things, when removing condition, it's based on bona fide marriage. That's what my brother done. Because I telling you, I screwed the date. So what happened when he was, he's divorced, he received his 10 years green card. After 10 years green card received 3.5 months later, his wife divorced him. Everything was fine, and they didn't hire a lawyer. He just signed things. And the separation on the paper divorce even show that he separate before even he get the fingerprints. I'm not even talking about removing condition, but he have all documents with him. He still has.
He should have a consultation with me before he does anything.
So call you in the daytime and send you all paper?
Yes, hold on 1 second. Let's go to Lisa in Newark, New Jersey. Lisa.
Hey, Brad. What's up? Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Okay, Brad, one question. I have a friend that she went in for an interview, I think it's in September, and they gave her 120 days. And her work permit is up in March, but she wants to renew the work permit. Can she renew the work permit along with the parole advance, or can she just submit the work permit only to renew until she get?
You should do both. Why not do both? But you can do just the work permit if that's what you want.
Yeah, but I think she wants also the travel document in case of an emergency. She has to go.
Yeah, do both.
So okay, and does she have to pay for both or just one?
No, well, I don't know where she's at, but they generally.
She did an interview and they gave her 120 days to get back to her, but they haven't gotten back to her as yet.
All right. Well, generally on the first renewal, you don't have to pay for it. It's only on the ones that are after that. So, you know, hopefully she doesn't have to pay for it. I don't know where she is right now with it. Okay?
Okay, all right, Brad. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's go to Georgia in Yonkers. Georgia. Georgia. Georgia.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, good night. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I put in my paperwork from 2017, and I get my work permit, but I haven't get an interview as yet. So.
Okay, so it's been based on what? Marriage?
Yeah, based on marriage.
Okay, and where? And this is This is in New York. You've been pending
yes,
since when?
in
Since
New
when?
York. Yeah,
Since when?
New York.
Since when?
I did it in 2017. I think it's October 2017, and I haven't received.
We're 2019 now. So you're a year and a half into this. You should come see me and let's see what happened to your case. I don't know what happened, but you should come see me. A year and a half is a pretty long time. Hold on one second. All right. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know what to tell you until we get into it. Let's go to Diane in Kingston, Jamaica. Diane.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how
Good
are you?
night.
Good night.
I'm well, thank you. I've been trying to call you every evening, and I can't get through. Finally.
You finally got through.
All right. Here's my story, Brad.
Yes.
I came to America 2016 on an H-2B program.
Right.
I extended my time 2 times. I got married in 2017.
Right.
Before I did it, I didn't do any paperwork or anything. I came home 2017, and then 2018 we started the paperwork. They sent out an RFE that they wanted the I-130A form. We did send in all of that, but sometimes they lose stuff and they want it back.
Right.
I was wondering, when we're doing the I-130A again, should we send back my extension papers in again?
You're doing an I-130A?
Yes.
For what?
Spouse supplement.
No, you only need the supplement if you're in the United States. You're outside the U.S.
Yeah, but they sent us for
They sent you for it?
RFE.
Okay, then do it. Then what is it that you're missing?
No, I was wondering if I should send in also my extension back, send back my extension paper to them.
What do you mean? What do you mean by the extension paper? The notice that
I
you
had
received?
extended my time. Excuse me?
The notice that you received saying you're missing a document?
No, my extension. I was on H-2B and I extended my time 2 times.
Yeah, send it back, but only send back what they ask for.
Okay.
So if you
All right,
don't,
look here, Brad.
in other words, if they ask for something, that's what you do. That's it. No more.
Okay, Brad, on the paper I was looking, and Part 7 says that if you have additional information, suppose I want to pull up my physical address and I want to put more information, then you have page number, part number, item number. I don't understand the item number part.
You're looking at a form and asking me how to fill it out on a live show. I don't know what you're looking at, so hold on one second, okay? Hold on. All right, I can't fill out forms for people.
They're long forms.
They're long forms.
They're long forms.
Brad, question 7, item 9, part A.
You know what that is, right?
I don't know what that is.
You should.
I should know, but I don't.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't fill out forms anymore, so I haven't looked at the form in a while, actually.
Right.
Okay.
That's probably something good for them to know.
Right.
Maybe they didn't know that.
Paralegals fill out the forms.
Right.
So actually, the paralegals know more about filling out the forms than I do.
Right.
Not to mean I can't do it. I just haven't looked at the form in a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
We should have a whole form helping out show.
Maybe we should.
I'm kidding.
All right. Let's go to Sam in Atlanta, Georgia. Sam.
Hey, hi, Bert.
Hey, what's up?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Just a quick question, Bert. Can you go ahead and remarry while you have a pending VAWA case?
Yes, but you can't have both cases going. You would have to, if you want to go through your current wife, you would have to withdraw the VAWA case.
No, I mean your abusive spouse. She have already moved on with her life and into another relationship, and even have a child into that relationship. So, and she put in a divorce, and the divorce was finalized. So, with your pending VAWA case, can you go ahead and remarry while your case is still pending?
Yes,
That's
but
my question.
the answer is yes. But I was going to say if your current wife wants to file for you, you would have to withdraw the VAWA case first. But you just want to get married because you love this woman, go get married.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's not fine. She's not fine for him. She's already moved on. She's into another relationship, and she have a child in that relationship.
Wait.
too.
Whoa, I'm confused. You filed the VAWA case.
Yep.
and your wife divorced you, and your question is, can you marry a second person? And the answer is yes, you can.
Okay.
And what I'm
that's
saying,
what-
what I'm saying to you is, if that second person, the second wife, not your former wife, your second wife wants to file for you, you would have to withdraw the VAWA case first. If you're just marrying because you love this woman and you're going to continue on the VAWA case, by all means, go do it.
Oh, okay.
Got
Thank
it?
you, brother.
You're very welcome.
Yep.
All right. And with that, Belgium Kim, we have to get to something that we like to call social media check-in. All right, what do we got?
We're here.
We're here.
All right, I got one from Navid Akram. All right, hey, my wife is a green card holder. If she files an I-130 for me in February 2019 and she becomes a citizen before my I-130 gets approved, does she have to file my I-130 again along with her other forms for my adjustment?
No, file the receipt for the I-130 with proof that she's a citizen and the adjustment.
Liaquat Ali says, my wife's income on my tax return is not enough in 2017 and we cannot find a joint sponsor, but her current annual income is good enough, but the filing for the tax return did not come in time yet and hasn't come yet. Can we show the current annual income so we don't need a joint sponsor?
Yes, you can, but you need to show the tax return too.
All right. Mariama on YouTube says, how long does it take for a green card holder to file for children under 21? And can she apply for the stepchild as well?
You can apply for children under 21. It's about 2.5 years. You can apply for a stepchild as long as the marriage happened before the 18th birthday of the child, the marriage to your spouse.
We've got another question from the wonderful Elfara, who said, oh no, you answered that one.
Yeah.
You messed up my whole process. Narisa says, can you marry someone who, you answered Narisa. Belka Kem said, my wife has a 2-year green card. We just got an extraction letter for 18 months. We will travel to Africa in May. Do we have a problem traveling? And what do we have to do?
What's an extraction letter?
Well, you tell me, Brad.
Extraction is like when you're stuck under something and they have to extract you from under the rock.
Right.
I would say the extension letter.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the extension.
Extension.
Probably extension
the
letter.
extension on the I-751 is fine to travel. It's not a problem.
Great.
Got teeth extracted
Yes.
before. The tooth extraction.
Yeah.
Call the extraction team. It's like a Tom Cruise movie. I would be part of that extraction team.
No, you would be.
I would be the
extraction team.
I would be the extraction.
Now a part of it.
Would I be the guy who's like stuck in under the rock?
No. You'd be the guy pulling them out.
Hero.
You're the
Brad
one man
That's
who
right.
You're the star.
I'm the star. I'm not the guy who gets
You're
hurt.
not the guy who gets hurt.
I'm the
You're
star.
not that dumb.
No.
Golly. All right, Judith has a question. Hey, Brad, asking for a friend. Can he renew his work permit a year after it's been expired, even though he is filing a VAWA case?
Yes.
Sorry, there is a
you can.
fly.
As long as the VAWA case
God,
is
a
pending. As long as the VAWA case is pending, you can file for the renewal.
A little fly in here, trying to get in my drink.
Your drink.
Yeah.
Martin said, can I still file my VAWA self-petition during the shutdown?
You can, but nothing's going to happen till they extend VAWA.
Okay, Fortune Otuani has a question on YouTube. If your online case status changes to we have scheduled an interview for you, unquote, how soon from the update do you actually have to receive the notice for the interview in the mail?
If they skip,
if your online case status, like you look online,
that doesn't mean anything. It could be 6 days, it could be 6 months, it could be a year and a half.
All right.
James said, hey Brad, do you file the I-601 before going abroad?
I answered that in the beginning. I said if it's for the provisional waiver, yes. If it's not for the provisional waiver for any other reason, you do it after you get denied.
Thank you. You messed up the whole process. I'm paying attention, but I can't do it.
There's no attention paid.
He was feeling very generous.
He was.
Earlier. All right, Abdul has a question. Hey guys, can you help me out here? I filed my I-751, but still pending, but I'm due for an N-400. I'm concerned that if there might be a problem by submitting the N-400 while my I-751 is still pending. Please note, I'm still very much married with my spouse. More so, do I have to attend 2 interviews, and must I go with my spouse for the N-400 interview? She's always nervous about these immigration stuff.
Yeah, you would go with your spouse. They would do the I-751 and the N-400 at the same time. Your spouse would go. Meanwhile, I'm just looking here.
Yeah.
Laverne Tucker has a question. She is she asking what is the difference between drink and drank?
Oh.
Is that her question?
So the difference between, just like sing and sang. You know,
Right.
when you can sing, but when you can sang,
You could
can
sang. Exactly.
So a drink is a drink. A drank is a drank.
A drank.
Okay, I have a different definition.
Okay.
I drink today, I drank yesterday.
No.
Nah.
No.
That's the proper
No.
English.
No, there is you're using it as a verb.
You're
We're
actually
using it as a noun.
Yeah, you're
There's
no,
a
you're
drink
actually
She
using
didn't
it.
say
drink.
she didn't say noun or verb, but she's saying this is just, yes, I
But
drink
I
today.
said-
I drink today, I drank yesterday.
Did I say that the fly was trying to get in my drink? That's probably why she said
That's
it.
probably why.
I said the fly's trying to get in my drink.
And that is a drank.
That's a drink.
It's a drank.
Don't be calling me out, girl. You know exactly what that damn fly. Y'all see it? Or maybe
I've
I'm
not
seeing
seen
something.
a fly.
Maybe it's a shadow.
Literally never seen a fly. He's losing his
drink.
mind.
I haven't seen a fly. I don't know. And by the way, why would a fly be here? Because it's the dead of winter. How would a fly have survived
like a
to
net.
be in here?
And there's only one of us that sees
And nobody
it?
sees this.
It's like a
You're
net.
delusional. All right, what else you got?
This is a day that's going to live in infamy, y'all. We've got
I'm gonna
a
find that
question
nap.
from Tracy who says, I filed for my mother and daughter in September of 2018. I'm a U.S. citizen and my daughter will be 18 in just a few months. I did receive the receipt letter from immigration saying that they have received it and it's in process. Will my daughter turning 18 soon become a problem?
It's not a problem. That's life. Life happens. Your daughter turns 18. If you become a citizen before your daughter turns 18, she's a citizen. If you become a citizen after your daughter turns 18, she's not a citizen. That's it. There's no problem. It's just it is or isn't.
Lavon is mad that you call her Laverne. Let me just say that.
Let me tell you something. It could be worse. I could be calling you Jessica Leamy, okay?
Right. I literally just replied, that's how you know your family.
Right,
Like,
okay.
that's how
I could
you
be,
know
I
your
could be calling
family.
you Jessica Leamy, Malia instead of Alea.
Right. Like, if he pronounces your name correctly, you are not
It ain't
wrong.
right.
You got a problem.
It ain't right. All right, Karen has a long
By
question.
the way,
right
your
here.
entire name is not correct. It should have been Belgian Kim.
Right.
And I
Right.
call you Belgium Kim.
Belgium Kim.
And that's how I became Belgium Kim.
My government name is Kimberly.
Right.
It was gonna be Belgium Kim if what happened? He was gonna like send you on a trip and
Yeah, my legal name wasn't gonna be Belgium Kim for a hot
You remember
second.
that? You're gonna send her like it was. You said something. You gave her an
A
ultimatum.
share
You
game.
said like, "Hey,
Oh,
if
yeah,
you change your name, I'll send you anywhere."
That's right.
But then you said with no pay or something. Like,
No. If you legally change your name to Belgium Kim, meaning that your first name is Belgium and your last name is Kim. Yeah, so you're related to Jong-un Kim from North Korea, maybe.
It's Kim Jong-un.
Who's Kim Jong-un? Who's Un-Jong Kim?
No one. That's not a real person.
Not a real person.
But I actually want to validate.
What?
I want to vindicate Jan real quick. I
What?
literally just saw a gnat fly around your
Thank
head.
you.
I just
Thank
saw
you.
it.
I
There's
thought I
a
was
gnat flying
tripping.
around your head. No, there is. There is one.
Golly.
We got him. I just saw one
Finally.
fly
God.
right by your head.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't let you. We were out here questioning your sanity, but it
Jeez,
exists.
I was questioning
it's
mine
real.
too.
It's real.
I want you to know something. I think you guys are screwing with me. There is no fly, and then you're gonna make me think there's a fly in here.
It's a
Y'all
gnat.
keep on seeing me do this after I
No,
have the
it's
question.
a piece of dust. I see some dust in front of me.
It's a
No,
gnat.
it's a gnat.
All
There's
right.
All right.
All right. Karen has
four more questions.
Karen has a question. I'm an American woman married to a Jordanian man for 11 years. I lived in Jordan with him for 9.5 years, where we had 3 children, all born in Jordan with dual citizenship. In August of 2017, myself and the children came to America, but we had to leave my husband behind because he's not a citizen and does not have a visa. I filed a petition for a marriage visa for him, and we're waiting for the response. Now, here's the question. My question is, my husband was in prison for 15 years ago in Abu Dhabi on a charge of adultery, and we want to know if this will prevent him from getting a visa, and if there's a chance the embassy will reject him. Is there anything we can do? Our oldest son is intellectually disabled, and myself, I am physically disabled. I need my husband here to help me and my children.
I would say it's not going to be a problem because there is no law that says that it is a crime in the United States to commit adultery, nor is it inadmissible because you're an adulterer. So that is a law of Abu Dhabi of United Arab Emirates that you can't have, if you're married, you can't have, sex with another person. But that is not the law of the United States.
That was a good question.
That's a great
Very good
question.
Yes.
That's a great question. We don't get those very
Yeah.
often. Utkur says, my I-765 renewal filed on June 7th of 2018 is still pending, and my automatic extensions are going to expire March 19th of this year. I submitted a case inquiry on November 26th, and I still have not heard anything. What should I do?
What is the application?
The I-765 renewal, and
How long has it been?
The extensions, so he filed in June, extensions expire in March, and he did a quick case inquiry in November and has not heard anything.
He filed in June for an I-765 extension or I-75, what?
I-65 renewal.
I-765.
Yeah.
Why did he file for the renewal 9 months before it was expired?
Of that we do not know. The automatic extensions are expiring on March 19th of this year.
I don't know what he did. He would have to come and show me. Okay.
Ken Kibbet on YouTube says, question, after getting a VAWA approval, how many years do you have to wait to file for your citizenship?
If it's through, if the abuse was through a citizen, it's 3 years. If it was a resident, 5.
James said, does a D felony weapon possession, is that considered an aggravated felony?
No, but it is considered a weapons offense that would bar you from getting a green card and make you deportable, but it's not aggravated felony.
All right, last one. Melissa Robinson. How long does it take for a green card holder to get her husband to the U.S. to live with her?
2.5 years. Belgium Kim, you got anything last ones?
Yeah, I got one more. Ron Adams said, my sister's boyfriend just got out of prison. Grand theft auto, drugs, driving with a suspended license, and no job for the last 10 years.
Boy, this sounds like a wonderful man.
He does.
Yeah.
Now, people have gone through stuff. Calm yourself.
This thing is
now he wants to file a K-1 visa for my sister. The boyfriend is a U.S. citizen.
That's fine because he's the citizen.
So none of those things are going to impact.
No.
Great.
No, but is your sister picking the right man? Is another story. Right?
That's on her.
Right. Sometimes the sister likes the bad boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe bad boy's reformed. Who doesn't love a reformed bad boy?
Right.
The good guys never win.
People love the bad boy.
Yeah.
When do they like the good boy?
I like
I'm the good boy. Jonathan's the good boy.
I like reformed bad.
Yeah.
So you got to be in the middle.
Right. Wouldn't that be a good show? The Good Boy.
The Good Boy?
The Good Guy.
That
The Good
sounds
Guy.
a terrible name for a show.
The Good Guys.
The Good Boy? That sounds like
I'm a good boy.
Dog show. Good boy. Good boy.
All right, Jill, that is not the name of the show. Okay?
Cancel the rebrand.
The Good Boy. Cancel the Good Boy show. By the way, even if it doesn't sound like a dog command, it sounds really boring. Why do you want to watch somebody who's just a good guy? That'd be like a really boring show.
It's just him paying his rent on time, paying off his credit card.
That's right. Honey, it's 6 o'clock. I'm home. He's home for dinner every night at 6.
He cooks dinner.
Honey, I'm not going drinking with the boys tonight. I'd rather stay home and paint with you. It's a good boy.
Meanwhile, Laverne D. Tucker is keeping a score. Fly versus Yo-Yo. Fly is winning 2-0. Fly is winning.
I think the Fly is winning 2-0. And by the way, they're going into the fourth quarter already.
Yeah, it's almost done.
Yeah, that's
an
very
insult
funny.
to my ancestors. Africans can always get
Fly
flies.
Fly 3.
Usually we're really good at that.
1 second, Laverne Tucker. Update the score. Fly 3. Yo-Yo nothing. All right. So, in all seriousness, Lifetime Television, we talked about this many times in the last week or two. Lifetime Television recently broadcast Surviving R. Kelly.
Yes.
Which was a docuseries about the singer's 20-year history of alleged sexual abuse and violence against black women. Now, Black Women's Blueprint is an organization of women and men working to empower African American and immigrant women. They work closely with survivors of sexual assault and rape and partnered with Lifetime in the Stop Violence Against Women's campaign that accompanied the series. They were basically there with Lifetime, that if anybody who was watching the series or the show felt that they needed to talk to somebody because of violence against them, they were the organization that was there to answer the telephones. Wow. They also worked with the series in helping some of the victims who came forward and counseling them while they were doing their interviews.
Wow.
So they were there intimately involved. And when I say intimately involved, they weren't there on the editing room floor. They were there dealing with the psychological damage, the emotional damage from the abuse from not only R. Kelly, but other women as well who felt this. So the organizations, and it's a big deal right now, R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's huge.
And now the organization's Assistant Executive Director, Savona M. Brown, joined me to discuss their work on the series Surviving R. Kelly. Let's watch. Black Women's Blueprint is an organization of women and men working to develop a culture in America where African American and immigrant women are fully empowered. They work closely with survivors of sexual assault and rape specifically. On January 3rd, 2019, Lifetime television broadcast Surviving R. Kelly, a 6-part docuseries about the famed singer's 20-year history of alleged sexual abuse and violence against Black women, many of whom were minors. Black Women's Blueprint partnered with Lifetime Network's Emmy Award-winning Stop Violence Against Women public affairs campaign that accompanied the series. Here to discuss the organization's work is Assistant Executive Director Savona M. Brown. Savona, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
The reaction of Lifetime's docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, it was amazing. Did you think it was going to be as big a viewership as it got? So many people watched. I think it was Lifetime's biggest viewed series ever. I think 1.9 million people.
The audience and viewership for this was well beyond even what Lifetime expected. I had an opportunity to talk to the producers during that debut, and we were just floored. It was the highest, docuseries that they had been able to produce. Lots of Black women in particular have been knocked down on R. Kelly's door for decades, right? This is not a new conversation.
I think what makes it so shocking is not only the detail, but the emotion that went into it. And when you have such a detailed account and an emotional account of what goes into it, not only does it make it gripping to watch and heart-wrenching to watch, but it also makes it very truthful to the viewer. Why is it, in your opinion, that Black women have such a higher rate of sexual abuse before the age of 18 than other minorities in the United States?
I think there's a grand bit of historical trauma that Black women in Black communities are carrying with us. And so there's a connection, right, between forced breeding and the exploitation of Black women's bodies and their reproductive labor in the antebellum South and on the plantations of the United States. And this moment that we have now, where high-profile individuals like R. Kelly and even other Black men in Black communities believe that Black women's bodies are their property or belong to them. And so that happens for young women under the age of 18. There's often a growing up of Black girls that happens in Black communities that's very ritualized, and violence perpetuates that. It's definitely a major issue within Black communities, and it's something that we at Black Women's Blueprint are constantly working through.
Are you saying that Black women grow up saying that I'm scared to say anything if this happens? Or is it more a Black woman who says, I have to accept this? I'm just curious. It makes it very odd to me that in one population is such a higher level of this happening than in other populations.
It's really a question of folks are always trying to figure out who to blame. We see this issue happening in Black communities, and it's really a communal accountability. And we see this in the docuseries as well. It's not just Black men to blame or Black women to blame. Even in intraracial violence, it's how is the community accepting these models of behavior that perpetuate degrading Black girls and degrading Black women in this systematic way that has been happening since the plantation since Black women were enslaved. And so it's really a system.
But are there examples that you can point out to where the system in the Black community perpetuates this, where in other communities it may not? What can be done, and where do you see in the system right now that things are happening that can be changed?
Well, I can provide two examples. One of them, I think, is if we use R. Kelly, for example, in the music industry and R&B and the production of Black culture, right? Black culture as its own item and token. The music itself really was an accessory to the crimes that he committed. A lot of the music that he produced was used to persuade and seduce and really to bring in and groom these young women into the sexual beings that he wanted them to be, right? Not that they were autonomously for themselves, but that he wanted for himself to benefit from. I think that perpetuation of cultural production that harms and degrades Black women is a system in and of itself that has to be stopped. Let's talk about schooling, for example, the ways that Black girls are disproportionately discriminated against because of dress code, right? Black girls are sent home for the way that they're dressed or called hypersexual or because of the way that their hair is done. So this constant perpetuation of Black girls as seen as less than or at the bottom of the Black community's population, I think, is one of the ways that we can start to see, okay, how can we intervene in these systems that constantly perpetuate this devaluing of Black girls and Black women?
I agree with what you're saying. Now, going back to R. Kelly, your organization have been holding rallies outside of his concerts for at least over a year now, protesting his alleged abuse and people, I guess, buying tickets and perpetuating, giving him the platform to continue to do this. How long has R. Kelly been on your radar, and how did he get on the radar for Black Women's Blueprint?
Well, for us as Black women and Black feminists, we have been thinking about, how to hold folks in the community accountable for the sexual violence of Black women and girls since the beginning of our organization. So we began in 2008 and we were incorporated in 2010. So we're turning 10 years old, but the organizers and the founders of this organization have been doing this work of protecting the rights of Black women and girls, long before that. Black women like Kenyette Barnes, who is in coalition with us, started the Mute R. Kelly movement and the Mute R. Kelly hashtag. And that was really the effort to shut the concerts down, to get Sony Music to stop playing him, to get Spotify to stop playing him, and iTunes. And we're still not there yet. In fact, his ratings went up over the weekend. So it's been an incredible journey just to see more people having a more robust and nuanced conversation.
I saw that his downloads, I think, went up like 20% over the weekend since Lifetime started airing this.
That's right.
Now, prior to this, okay, did you get a lot of blowback from people in your community, people in the music industry, saying, hey, why are you trying to take down this successful guy?
Of course. We constantly get calls to the office. We get emails, from within inside the community that thinks that, this is really blasphemous to speak out against someone within your own community and to air the community's dirty laundry. But for us to save a survivor's life and to share their narrative and put them on a platform so that they can hopefully help someone else is much more important. And also, if we don't speak out against it, it will continue to happen within community. There'll be no accountability. There'll be no intracommunal reconciliation. There'll be no reparations for us within our own communities. And we'll continue to be fighting these battles decades and decades down the line. And the reason we know that is because the way that historical trauma has carried with us, and generational trauma and intergenerational trauma. And so there's all this baggage, right, that needs to be dealt with. And so perpetuating silence and shame around that is not the solution.
Now, a lot of people who watch this say, come on, these girls knocked on the guy's door. They came at their own volition. They didn't say, they weren't kidnapped from the concert or wherever he met them. They walked there on their own free will. And how do we know that these accounts are verifiable? Maybe they're making it up. Maybe they just want some publicity for themselves. How do you know, as an organization, to verify the veracity of these women's claims other than through their own true life testimony, which seems very truthful and emotional on the surface?
Well, the statistic itself, right, around 60% of Black women and girls experience rape and sexual violence before the age of 18 is proven, right, by the docuseries. And it's incredibly important for us as a value to believe Black women and girls, but But survivors rarely lie about their stories. And even in the instances where we've heard that a survivor has recanted a story, they have several other stories, or they've recanted for various reasons, to protect their own safety, to protect their own families and communities. It's a very risky thing to even share your story in a public platform. Many of the women in the docuseries spoke about how they didn't realize that there were plots against them, right? To be killed, to be murdered.
Who was plotting to kill them?
One of the survivors in the docuseries was talking about when the tapes came out, right? The sex scandal.
Right.
So she had possession of one of the tapes and she wasn't sure what to do with it. And she really didn't want to have it anymore, but she didn't want it to be picked up by the news and, you know, for the rest of her life to be really like plastered on TMZ or wherever it might end up. In that she had possession of the tape, she learned that members of R. Kelly's entourage were trying to find ways to make her disappear, which is what we've seen with a lot of the young women. Their families are outside of the Chicago track studio trying to bring them home. So many of them, there's been this systematic grooming that would allow R. Kelly to just begin bit by bit, you know, pulling them into his world and simultaneously pulling them apart from their own world and their own networks. And we know that that is a symptom of a domestic violence abuser and a sexual violence abuser. Separate the survivor as far away from their own family and community and networks and bring them into this fold in this world and where they can't actually decipher or recognize themselves anymore.
Is that where some of the news accounts say that R. Kelly was almost starting a cult in a way?
Yeah, his Chicago allegations have been under investigation for quite some time, but now there's been allegations in the state of Georgia because his mansion is where many of the women are being held in Atlanta. And so when folks start to talk about this cult, they're also talking about sex trafficking, right? So we haven't talked about all the transactions that take place between R. Kelly and these women and what's expected of them outside of himself.
Right.
There's other people on his team and entourage that are being complicit, at least, in this violence.
And when they did try to escape, it was met with threats of violence against them. Is that basically the allegation?
When many of them tried to escape or tried to leave, they would be locked away or punished, or food would be withheld from them, or they would be even further disconnected from their families. So we've seen, right, that this is, you know, this violence has escalated.
How many different individual accounts are you aware of against R. Kelly, and how many of these stories mimic one to the next that you say, wow, it's really implausible that 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 100 women, whatever it may be, are coming and saying the same exact thing and the same exact story, which in their totality makes this all very truthful?
There were so many accounts that Lifetime was not even able to interview all of the women that they wanted to interview in the timeline that they had for the docuseries. So many women who submitted, you know, narratives to the Chicago Sun-Times when the tapes came out and they said, you know, this actually happened to me and this is what it looked like. It looked just like this. It looked just like the tape that I'm seeing on the news. It looked just like the accounts of the testimonies of the 14-year-old girl. And one of the things I appreciated from Lifetime was that there were 54 interviews, right? All of those were not survivors, but those were all testimonies from R. Kelly's brothers, younger and older, some of his family members, his ex-wife, other women that had been involved with him, background dancers, former employees. And of course, we see popular names like John Legend and Wendy Williams and his piano teacher. So we see really a full spectrum of testimonies.
You would have to say, to believe that R. Kelly is innocent of all of these allegations and charges, that over 54 people, at least on Lifetime, and that hundreds of people are all lying against R. Kelly, which is almost implausible to believe.
That's right. And so I think we are seeing an arc and evolution in the conversation from a lot of victim blaming. And like you said earlier, those girls walked right into this trap. They wanted money, they wanted fame. We're seeing an evolution that's shifting the burden from the survivors over to an accountability around, okay, what's really happening with R. Kelly?
What do you say to people about, it's okay for a woman to say, yes, I will spend my time with you. That doesn't mean that I agree to have my body touched or to be sexually abused or even to be indoctrinated into a sex cult.
Consent is ongoing. If you agree to have dinner, okay, you agree to have dinner, but that doesn't mean you agree to have a kiss on the cheek. Correct. And then to go home with that person, right? Consent is ongoing. So it's also reversible. You can agree to something and take it back and say, actually, this doesn't work for me. This isn't what I'd like. And so I think that's really, really important for folks to understand. It's not a blanket consent form that you sign when someone invites you out to dinner or to come sing in a studio or to meet up with them. And minors cannot consent to sexual engagement at all. The fact that in the documentary several times it was referenced that R. Kelly had sex with minors and that's what he's charged for. No, he's charged for child sexual abuse.
You can't give legal consent under 17. Even if you said, I agree as a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old, I agree to have sex with R. Kelly. I did it willingly. I wanted to. I was in love with him. Whatever words come out of the female's mouth, he is still guilty.
Child sexual abuse, child pornography, domestic violence, sexual assault, harassment, right? It's this full spectrum. And I think a lot of people are trying to figure out, what does justice look like now?
How are you able to separate to say, okay, the guy's a talented singer and musician, but he's a terrible human being?
I think that people want to separate the art from the allegation. But at this point, we know they're inextricably linked. As I said earlier, the art is really an accessory to the crimes that he committed. And for many of them, they're archives of the crimes that he's committed. Age ain't nothing but a he's produced.
Right.
There's no way for us to fully separate them. And I know that it would be great to continue on stepping into the next few years to his music. But if we really want to show that we are progressing and also that we believe and value Black women and girls, then it has to be turned off. It has to stop.
It's about accountability for R. Kelly, but it's also about the future of your community.
That's right.
He's never been found guilty of anything in his life. Is that correct? Criminally.
No, he's been acquitted of all charges.
And now he's being investigated by the state of Georgia, as you said, not only for sexual abuse, violence, domestic violence, sex trafficking, having sex with a minor. How much of this investigation that's being done by the state of Georgia was a direct result of what was seen on Lifetime? And how much are the women who have testified on this Lifetime series helping the investigation? And how much is Blueprint, your organization, helping that investigation in Georgia?
We have a very, very broad understanding of justice. And for us, it's really what survivors believe justice to be, right? So someone spending the rest of their life in jail is not necessarily justice for us. And it's not that it can't be, but that we know that sexual violence is also perpetuated in U.S. prisons and jails. So we want to say that as well. But one of the things that I think is really important is that Chicago Police Department and Georgia law enforcement have had their eye on R. Kelly. But this moment where we actually hear these stories in raw detail, I think leads, right? It's a huge, huge lead for them to say, okay, we have to have dignity and accountability and integrity, within the state of Georgia, within the state of Illinois, within the city of Chicago. And so what does that say about CPD? What does that say about, the Georgia Police Department? And that even though this is a high profile case, that must mean this is happening within communities as well, impoverished neighborhoods, even not. As this docuseries shed light, everyone is asking, who is responsible? Who is witnessing in this and letting it go down? So of course, their ears perk up and they jump on the case right away.
Certainly he was being protected by many powerful people, and he has money to protect himself, whether it's with lawyers, people in the music industry, whatever it may be. What do you say about the other people in the music industry who, A, never came forward and said anything at all before this docuseries, or someone like Lady Gaga, who by all accounts is a very liberal, progressive person? She did a song with R. Kelly in 2013, Do What You Want With My Body, and she stood by him for 3 or 4 years, even while he stood on trial for child pornography a few years earlier. And now, only after this docuseries comes out, she comes out and apologizes and says she's never going to work with R. Kelly again. And now all of a sudden, all these people, Lady Gaga being the most recognizable person, do you say, well, better late than never? Or are you saying, what a hypocrite, or something in the middle?
Of course, we hear the R. Kelly apologists coming forward and apologizing to us now, because this is not just embarrassing, but you become liable for being complicit in this violence and also for perpetuating it.
You legitimize him and devalue the other people by
right.
working with him, by giving him a platform and everything else.
Anyone who has sat back or been silent or even worked and closely or in proximity with him has really perpetuated this violence that we're seeing.
What was your organization or your role or your organization's role in this Lifetime production?
Well, Heart and Soul, we are an organization for survivors. And so we offer healing and counseling services. And one of the things that we offered right away was that our 24-hour hotlines and our counseling services be available to the survivors as they were telling these stories in the docuseries. And so us and A Long Walk Home, an organization that's based in Chicago, did some on-the-ground support of the survivors and really holding and wrapping our arms around them through our services and offering their families also a space and a network. We were available mostly through virtual connection, cell phones, hotlines, text messages.
Reliving it and telling it is just as traumatic as, or maybe more so, I don't know, than when it happened, but certainly emotionally.
Every time a sexual assault happens, the brain shrinks, right? It starts to protect itself. It creates a pattern of survival, right? It makes space for things to be remembered, things to be forgotten, things to be stored away. And so the first time that someone really speaks that story out loud and that it moves through them and that it starts to unearth itself.
Do most survivors believe that they caused their own problem?
A major consequence of sexual violence is one feeling the burden upon themselves. And so, yes, definitely we see often that survivors are wondering, is this my fault? Did I cause this? What did I do to deserve this? And so to respond with respect and unconditional support for them and their own vulnerability, I think is really, really important.
Do you only deal with people in the Black community or immigrants in the Black community? Do you deal with others as well? I understand why you're focusing on the Black community, because it's a big problem if 60% of Black women are sexually abused before the age of 18, many of whom never come out and ever say anything in their entire life. What happens if you're white or you're Hispanic, you're Asian? Can we come for help?
On multiple levels, we engage interracially within the organization. We preserve the healing and counseling services, which are culturally specific, and we use a model that is geared towards Black women and girls. But we offer a ton of resources and programming. We have the Institute for Gender and Cultural Competency, which the toolkit that we created for Surviving R. Kelly is really just an excerpt of that curriculum of bystander intervention, of cultural competency, of crisis intervention, of supporting survivors, reproductive justice and reproductive health. And so those offerings are available to all communities. We also have space for people to show allyship to Black women and girls. Our March for Black Women that we had in September of 2018 is an example of that. It was really a multiracial effort of coalition building and centering the narratives of Black women and girls.
Now, you talked about this kit that you offer, and the kit is advice on how to talk to somebody who is a survivor. So you're teaching people on how to help somebody who suffered through this trauma.
There's a spectrum, a continuum of sexual violence. And I think that that's an important part of the toolkit, to have access to this toolkit that looks at, okay, what is sexual violence? What is rape? What is child sexual abuse? What are the differences between those things?
If I wanted to have a conversation in my family, God forbid somebody in my family was the victim of sexual abuse, how do I go and talk to them about it?
To take the survivor's lead is the way to go. Even if you are a survivor and you're listening, to really allow for that person who's disclosing to you to really have that moment and to have that sacred space to do so.
If I have a discussion with somebody and they say, I really don't want to call the police right now, would that be a bad thing that I did if I did call the police and say, no, you must call the police, and force them, or I call them on my own and have the police come?
So what we do is survivor-led advocacy. A survivor is able to advocate for themselves. I would definitely discourage from taking any actions that the survivor is up against, because there might be things that they haven't disclosed to you and reasons why they might want to take the course of action that they want to take.
You have 3 very important issues on the table for your organization moving forward. What are they?
So the Violence Against Women Act is one, right? So we're in the middle of a government shutdown, and we really want to see VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act, reauthorized. And that reauthorization of VAWA is a major concern for us. Of course, reproductive rights and the intersection of immigration and poverty and affordable housing, all of those are inextricably linked for us. And then the gag on the terminology. Right now, the has released a list of terms that the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, are banned from using. The vocabulary that we have worked so hard to see implemented now is being disallowed.
So, and this was done by President Trump, who by all accounts is himself a sexual predator.
Right. Women are under attack. Because of the presidency that we're under, we can't say terms that are incredibly impactful for survivors when it comes to sharing their stories, right? So vulnerable is one of those terms. And diversity, science-based or evidence-based, transgender. These terms are being prevented within certain agencies that are necessary when it comes to data and statistical collection of Black women's narratives.
Where can people find out more about your organization?
So you can find out more about our work on www.blackwomensblueprint.org. You'll find the toolkit there. You can also find us on Twitter at BlackWomensBP, on Instagram at BlackWomensBlueprint. We also have a blog, a platform where we release a lot of our cultural analysis, mamablack.org. So please visit us at mamablack.org. That's where you'll find our calendar, upcoming events. And then bwbtraining.org is where you'll find the Institute for Gender and Cultural Competency.
And if I myself have a traumatic experience and want to talk to somebody confidentially, what telephone number should I call right now?
If you want to speak to anyone member of our hotline, call 646-647-5414 or 5415. You can call either to reach Black Women's Blueprint's Healing and Counseling Services.
Tell us what you would like to see, your dreams for America in the next year, 5 years, and 10 years.
I want to see a world that's free of violence against Black women and girls, which is a huge, huge project and mission. But that's something that I want to see us to be able to move freely, autonomously through this nation, and our definition of our own autonomy and freedom and liberation to shift.
Savona Brown, Assistant Executive Director for Black Women's Blueprint. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Wow.
Wow.
That's exactly how I felt after I watched the 6-part series.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah. How can more not have been done?
All right.
I'm glad they're there.
All right. Comments of the day.
All right. Our first one is from Eulette, and it says, Brad, you really are a comedian, a lawyer, you're a multitasking guy. I like your mood, Brad.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's it.
I'm in a miserable mood.
Not a day that'll live in infamy for Eulette.
A day that will live in infamy, that's for sure.
Not for Eulette.
All right. We have one on YouTube from Tanil12. #1 immigration law firm in America.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tanil knows what time it is.
That's right.
She does.
Carol, the top cat tigress 2 Anderson said, you're the star guy, Brad.
Wow.
Look at that. See?
You're giving me all the compliments for me to make me feel good today, right?
Is it working?
Well,
a little bit. Did you do that on purpose?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
Because usually the compliments go across the board, but
They
today
do
you
go
give it
across the board.
all to
Well,
me.
I had one for all of us, but then you read it. It was Lady Leah's about all of us looking sharp and ready for the Academy
yeah,
Awards.
right.
You stole it, Brad.
Right. All right. We have one on YouTube from Serena Vessel. You guys make my day. Grinning face. Oh,
very
that's
nice.
amazing.
Thank you,
you.
Serena.
Is that it?
That's all we got.
All right, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow for the last show of the week, Friday at 5:30. We'll see you all tomorrow. Hopefully, it will be a better day for me. And I hope everyone had a great day today and even a better day tomorrow. See you tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?